All right. Are we good?
Yeah.
Checking all the stations.
Let me check the station, making sure we Gucci.
Okay.
Yeah, we Gucci on IG.
We're good. Okay. Good.
And we Gucci on
Good to
YouTube.
go. Well, hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Tit for Tat podcast. I'm Carolyn. I'm one of your hosts.
I'm Jay and whoa, hold on.
Redo.
Hold on, we do. I'm Jay. I'm the tat and the tip for tat. She's the tip for tat. And we go tip for tat all week long. We got some great guests with us. Our reoccurring guests, Eddie, Jay, and Felicia. Let's go tip for tat nation. What's up?
Nice save, bro. Nice save. That was you redeemed yourself.
Appreciate you. Yeah, I was
Well,
talking.
guys, we've got a new face on tonight, so I'm excited to get to know her a little bit. I'm going to give her the floor and let her introduce herself and share a little bit of background, and then we're going to get into part 2 of Is Marriage Outdated? So the floor is yours, ma'am.
What's up, everyone? My name is Felicia. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a product manager. I'm a problem solver. I live in Atlanta. I am 46 years old, and I am single.
Okay. Oh, let's get into it.
Have
First
you
of
ever been
all,
married?
ma'am, you look fantastic. Whew, Blake, don't cry. I feel like I say that every show.
Felicia, you ever been married?
I have not.
Okay, all right. You and Carolyn in the same boat.
Yes. Well, as far as never being married, that's true. So okay, last week we started Is Marriage Outdated? We had some very interesting conversation and discussion, but I didn't really feel like we didn't come to any conclusions well. So definitely want to continue conversation tonight. And since Felicia's our guest, I'm going to start with her and just straight up ask, how do you feel? Do you think that marriage is outdated? Yes or no, and why?
No, I don't think it's outdated. I think it's evolving.
Mm,
I,
okay.
I think that, just through the years, women have gained like so much independence. I think a lot of things have happened in culture and in society, and I just think that it's an evolution. When I think about marriage, I think about partnership. So is a partnership ever outdated? No, not really. But what it means today may not be what it meant 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. So yeah, I don't really think it's outdated.
Okay. So let's get into your dating experience a little bit. Atlanta, big city, lots of us there, lots of us doing well there. Why'd you look like that, Jay?
Because that's got, first of all, Atlanta's not a real place. And that's got to be the wildest place to ever date. I'm telling you. You gotta add rules on top of rules you already have to even get the date down that chain.
Well, we're gonna talk to Felicia about that. So, what is dating in general like as a Black woman in Atlanta?
Well, I have to say that I was in a very long-term relationship for a while. And so I haven't dated in Atlanta in eons. However, I have been having conversations recently, and I don't even know if I want to date.
Okay. Why
Right?
you
Like, because I feel like dating is so orchestrated.
mm,
Right? Like, I don't want you to put on, I don't want you to act like you somebody that you're not. And, just talking to friends about their dating experience, it has left me like, nah. Like I don't know. I'm not super into it. I feel like I want to know who someone is. And I feel like one thing that has been lost has been really getting to know people. And I think a lot of times when people start dating each other, they're so busy trying to impress each other that they don't even get to know each other. And I think that that is really what you need as a foundation for a partnership or a marriage one day.
You don't think you have control over that?
Over what?
Over putting yourself over the the pageantry.
I have control, but everybody trying to flex, right? And so even if you go into it, I could go into it saying, this is me, this is who I am. What you see is what you get. Most of us know, women know for sure, that, like a lot of times men are just putting on. So,
But
yeah,
Felicia, here's my pushback on that. Men been doing that since the beginning of time. Ain't nothing changed. Like, that's not. We're gonna put on when we first meet you. We're gonna come off like we the man. We're gonna put off, maybe even put off a vibe like we gonna put on, whether if we got money, whether we think we that dude, whether we like, there's gonna be some, like, I don't think there's ever been a time where a man ain't, when he approached a woman, he ain't never put on. Like, because to be honest with you, approaching a woman takes a great act of bravery that a lot of men probably don't even have in the first place, but you do it. And so you already putting up a kind of a front in the first place.
Yeah, but I think
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, in a social media era, people are just over the top with it. So yeah, like, men have always put on, women try to put on, but I'm interested in getting to know somebody for who they really are. So I'm almost like, you know what? I don't even want to go on a date. Who are you? Like, who are you? I don't want to use the date to get to know you. Who are you? Who are you in this world? What you stand for?
I think men should have a bit. Okay, I want to get into that, but we got another guest that's on standby that I want to bring up here. Very special guest, as a matter of fact. So hold on, let me get her in here real quick. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're
What up?
Great. Everybody, hello. This is my sister, Selena. Selena, you want to give a quick background?
Sure. I'm Selena. I'm 34. I live in the DMV and I'm engaged.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so topic tonight is marriage outdated, part 2. So we're going for another round. And we were just discussing what level of control women have over how men are approaching and why they're putting up a front when approaching. And then Jay, I think you posed a question. I lost it. Can you bring it back? Did you pose a question?
Well, I was saying, most men, at some point a man's gonna put up a front when he first meets. Why can't we skip that? Why can't we can control that? Can we not control how we get to know each other? If you don't want to deal with the pageantry, then communicate that. Hey, listen, I just want to get to know you, get to know me. We ain't got to do. I don't need expensive dinners. I don't need this, that, and the third. I'm just trying to find out who you are.
Why can't men be on that when they approach you? Why do you feel like you have to, as a man, be on the pageantry?
So are we saying that we don't have to spend money at all to do that? Are we okay with that?
Why saying money. Why did you hop to money?
Because that's what they always cop to, him especially.
Because listen, I love the fact, this is the part of the conversation that I love, right? Because we sit up here and act like
what?
We act like dating, like money doesn't get spent. Even if it's a coffee date, money's getting spent. Let's just stop the madness. Not like money ain't getting spent. Money's getting spent, and it's being spent by the man. Point blank, bottom line. So let's not. And if we're trying to say that doesn't have to happen, I'm totally fine with that. I want y'all to stick by your guns. Don't do it for the grain. If you saying I ain't got to spend no money to get to know you, I'm cool with that. I would love by a raise of hands. If I can do the first 5 days for free and it's a legit date and I get to know you, I am down.
Well, I think it also depends on your intention, because I feel like the reason why
I want to get to know you, that's my intention.
Are you really getting to know me, or are you trying to impress me?
If you're telling me I get a chance to get to know you without spending a dime, I'm in. First 5 dates, what's up? Who's in?
I mean, all it takes is a little creativity on y'all's part.
I didn't listen. Are you in or you out?
Y'all
You in or you
want to
out?
default to spending
Yeah
money
or nay?
and trying
You
to
in or
wine
you
and
out?
dine and shit. So
You in or you out? Yes or no? Yeah or nay?
I definitely am down with that.
I bet. Y'all heard it first. Every guy out here, if you want to be get with Carolyn, you don't need no money. First 5 dates is free. What's up? Felicia, you down?
You get no date. How about a coffee meetup or something? Like, am I giving you a full date? I don't even know you.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
If the intent is to get to know you, however long that takes, just a full date, no money. What's up?
Yes.
Hey, fellas, I got two. I got two on the line, 5 days for free.
Got a BOGO.
What's up?
Got a BOGO.
It ain't gonna be 3, I can tell you that right
I got a BOGO. I got 2 BOGOs. Hey, Selena, if you weren't engaged, would you be down?
No.
Why not?
You gotta pay to play. Gotta pay to play.
I mean, you have to show some intention for sure, and I feel like that's one way to do it. Like I've always said about that. I just feel like if you're coming into the situation trying to budget, then maybe that indicates that you shouldn't be dating. I don't know, but if that's,
and so, Felicia,
that's your
to
priority,
answer your question,
money is your priority. Should you be dating?
Right.
That's your answer.
Wait a minute. I also think that a lot of men are way too conscious about the money aspect. Like, how you going on where you stressing about, even if you got to spend some money? Is your money not right? Are you doing 20 dates a week? What's good?
Hold on. Hold on. But I might answer that. What's dating though? What's dating? Dating is I'm not just seeing you. I might have 2 or 3 different women I'm dating. And in this economic world right now, that's pretty jolly expensive.
I'm sure it is, but why? Okay, so then there goes back to the intention part of it. Like
the intent is always to get to know somebody and see if you're eligible to me for something long term. That is always the intent.
That's not.
Well,
are you
not
speaking
always.
for
I'm
yourself,
sorry.
or are you speaking for men in general?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say always. That's not a fair term. There are going to be some men who have the intent just to have sex. And hopefully at this bold age of ours, we're saying that up front.
Some
then
or most.
There's going to be some men who actually want a relationship. And that's where I'm at. I'm talking about the guy who actually wants to get married or a long-term relationship. I'm talking about that guy.
So if he's dating multiple women, then he's going to have to budget for that. Like, it's quite simple. If you're going to be dating women who expect you to be spending money and taking them out on dates all the time.
Or I can just grab YouTube.
You know,
I can date both of y'all for free.
No. We didn't say you could date us for free.
You just said 5 dates. 5 dates, I can determine if I want to stick around.
You said you was making it to 5, number one. Number two, in Africa, when they have multiple wives, they can actually take care of them. So I don't think the man should be complaining about how much he's spending when he's choosing
Felicia, darling. Felicia, darling, have you looked at the financial status of that one man that's taking care of all those women?
I know, and that's where the man over here needs to think about that when he tries to take out 5 women on dates. What is his financial status? Can you afford this? Are you stressing yourself out trying to take all of these women?
Right, that's what I don't like.
You ain't got the bread. I mean, come on, like.
Yeah, I think men put that back on women.
You just compared.
They put that back on women like this high expectation.
You just compared a man who's married to 5 women to a guy who's just trying to date to see if he even wants to get married to one woman.
It's called means of execution. What's your means of execution? What you trying to do?
I'm trying to find out if you're worthy.
Worthy?
Yeah, absolutely. And you trying to find out if I'm worthy.
Worthy.
Am I worthy of your time for something long term?
I don't know. I feel triggered by the word worthy.
Okay.
I think we are all worthy of companionship. We are all worthy.
I'm talking about, yes, we're all worthy. I'm talking about, are you specific for mine?
And I think as a man dating multiple women, you should have a little bit more foresight before you jump into it.
So here's a scenario. And we're going to move into marriage even, because this is interesting, though. I meet Carolyn. She's dope. She's fly. I meet her on Monday at this event. She's dope. She's fly. We going to set up a date. Cool. I meet Felicia a week and a half later. She's dope. She's fly. And she wants to go out on a date. Should I not take Felicia out on a date because I took Carolyn out? Should I shut that down?
I want to say we should go back to what was mentioned earlier and intention.
No.
That's like saying, "Oh my God, I met a guy. He was so nice to me."
Hold on.
They all fly.
You're not a man, though. This ain't your department. You ain't a man. This is what we do. You're not a man. This how we have to move.
Where I feel like y'all go wrong.
Hold on. Answer the question though. Do I bounce on Carolyn?
It depends on your intention.
I assume my intent is to figure out who I want to be with long term.
And can you afford to entertain both women?
Okay, but let's hold on with that. So you're saying if I financially can do it, I should.
If you don't have any deeper intention, then why not? But
I do have a deep. Again, the intent here is from.
You haven't qualified one over the other. You're basically saying they're the same.
Right, because I don't know them. I've only been out on one date with Carolyn. I just met you.
Okay, so can I interject real quick? Because this is pissing me off. Because here's what y'all do as men.
Tell us what we do since you're a man.
When you meet the dope girl, why can't you try and spend time focusing on that to see? Y'all be having dope women that y'all fucking fumble because you're too busy.
Carolyn, I'm trying to explain that. I'm trying to explain that to you right now. So I met you on Monday, and then I met Felicia, and they two dope women. Do I drop you because I met this new dope girl?
You just don't know what to do. You just don't know what to do. Oh my God, you met two dope women.
I'm asking y'all, yes or no? What is that? It's a simple yes or no. Because for real, the reason why you can't answer, number one, because y'all probably do it. Number two, you don't answer because for real, you don't know. You don't know whether you should or not.
That's not why I didn't answer. I don't do that. Why? Because if I meet somebody that I feel is dope, I put my attention into that person, and anybody who knows me knows that.
So any man that comes after a man, so you met a man and you think he's dope after the first date. So any man that you meet after that could have potential, you don't even entertain.
No, especially at this age. No, not anymore. But a dope man is so hard to come by these days. I really
can't. Stop. Oh God.
However,
oh God.
However, yes, because I think that that's a big difference between women and men. And I don't know if it's because I don't believe there is as many good men out here as there are good women. I do not believe that, just off sheer numbers alone. But so that's my thing. So I feel like as women, we are not constantly looking for the next best thing. I feel like men are like, she's dope, but do I really want to lock this down now? Because what if I meet Felicia in a week or something like that? Now I'm kind of tied into this and I really want to go see what's up with that. That's y'all's problem.
That's not a problem. That's called dating.
At this age, why are you juggling several women? If you meet a dope woman, why don't you put your energy into that? See where it goes. If it doesn't go anywhere, then now you're open to meet another dope woman. But what you try to do is meet a dope woman, have her on fucking freeze while you figure your shit out. And that's where y'all messing up.
Is that women? So, but hold on. Why are you on freeze?
Some women might not know they're on freeze.
No. You didn't hear what I said. I didn't put you on freeze. So why are you on freeze?
I'm saying if a man puts you on freeze, like he knows you're good,
right? But I didn't put you on freeze, Carolyn. We just met. We're dating. I didn't put you on freeze. So why are you on freeze?
What do you mean? You're saying if you meet a girl,
right, and
you got this girl like
and we've been on one date. We went out. We've only been on one date, and I meet Felicia, and I'm like, she's dope, and I want to go out with her too. You're not on freeze. I didn't say you couldn't go out with anybody else.
That's not what I meant when I said freeze.
Okay, what do you mean by freeze?
I meant a man keeping someone there in some capacity, but also exploring other things.
But why can't
you got me over here on pause while
why? What does pause mean? Like? Pausing what?
Say what?
What are you pausing?
I just explained that to you. Am I not explaining this correctly? Somebody help me out. Like I don't.
Yeah, please help her out.
I don't know if I'm not explaining this correctly or not.
Does anybody else know what she means by pause?
Oh, I got everybody confused. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me try to backtrack this. What I mean is that when you meet someone that you're into, right? And you know you're into them, like you really feel like you're into them.
You don't. That's not my example, Carolyn. That's not my example. You're not listening. I just met you. You're dope based on a week. I don't know if you're the greatest thing in the world, this, that I am ready to commit to. I just met you. The next week, I meet Felicia, and she seemed our first conversation and interaction was dope. She wants to go out on a date. Should I not take her out because I just went out with you one time?
I mean, I wouldn't.
I think is it fair to gauge what, because when you say you met, if you've already determined the first woman you met as dope, you've already put her in that category.
It's based on a limited interaction.
Spending time together. Okay. Well, but is it clear that you're seeing other people?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm dating. That's what seeing other people means.
Okay. But but people can meet. And I think women do this a lot. Women meet, they get excited about a guy, and then that's that guy. That's what Carolyn's come from, speaking from that angle. Like, if she was a dope guy, and it's like, oh, like I like him, I want to make this, I want to give this a shot. So I think, is it fair to assess that? But as men, y'all know that too, though, right? Like,
no, we don't
know that and don't acknowledge it, and I don't think that's fair either.
We don't know that, and I don't expect you to.
Do you not know it, or do you not expect it? Or do you not want the pressure that comes with that?
No, there's no pressure. Both. It's both. Because it's not. Because if I say I'm dating, that means you are free just as much as I am free to see other people until we have a conversation.
That's what I'm saying. But have you made that clear? Like,
yes. Yes, I'm dating, meaning I am seeing other people. Like that is a very easy thing to say.
Is that clear to girl number one that you've met, y'all vibing, y'all slept together, y'all hung out, and that
you added a whole nother. Whoa! You added. I just met Carolyn last week. We ain't done all that.
Well, those are the specifics that matter, and you didn't clarify that. I don't know.
I did. I literally said I don't know her. We haven't slept. We went out on one date.
Okay,
I met her. We went on one date. We vibing. That's all we vibing. We've had great conversation over the phone. That's it.
Okay.
Right? So I meet Felicia the next week at an event. We have a great conversation. It's dope. Yo, what's up? Oh, you want to go out on a date? Should I forget Carolyn?
Why would you? No, you shouldn't forget her. No.
Or not date her?
No, you should continue to date.
That's all I'm saying. And so, and the reason why we do that is because I just met these two great people. I got vibes with both of them. Let's see how far either one goes in this dating. The only issue I have with doing this now, this was way cheaper 10, 15 years ago. It just was.
Now, see, I was on your side until we back to this.
It was cheap. What I mean by that is, I don't mean we're cheap. What I'm saying is, a Heineken 10 years ago was $8. This shit is $20 now.
Okay, well, go down to Coors Light. Like, what are we talking about?
Go down to Coors Light, okay?
Drop it down. Take out some 23-year-olds.
I ain't mad at you for that.
To Fridays.
So hold on. I got to downgrade.
Absolutely. If you want to,
y'all don't ever downgrade.
Yeah,
y'all want Ruth's Chris every
like a 20-year-old to let you take her to Fridays for sure.
Cheesecake. All right, my bad.
No, cheesecake is I don't care what none of y'all say. I will go to cheesecake and be happy about it. Now, you little bougie Negroes done got degrees and shit. Want to act like
your people
is too.
Your gender that came up with that list.
Sorry?
Your gender came up with that list.
I don't have nothing to do with that list because most of the stuff on there was ridiculous. Okay, let's pull it together and get back on track because
my apologies.
We're supposed to be talking about is marriage outdated or not.
Shit, dating looks like it's getting outdated.
We left off last week. It was more so all the men shared, I think, the benefits of marriage, but let's get into some statistics, shall we? Because studies show, let's talk about this for a second. Studies show that married men are healthier and live longer and are happier. Not the same for married women. Single women, never been married, are happier.
Who never? Wait a minute, whoa, back up. Single women never remarried. What?
Never been married.
Oh, okay.
Single women who have never been married are healthier, live longer, and are happier than married women. So
wait a minute. Single women are all single women?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, we in trouble.
They live the longest, actually, single women.
We in trouble. It's gonna be a bunch of lonely, angry people in these next generations growing up.
I mean, but I don't think that, and that's where I think the traditional marriage idea is not what it used to be. Like, there is this idea, like another stat for you that says that 3 out of 5 millennials and Gen Z believe that you don't have to be married to have a happy and committed relationship. What do you guys think about that? Y'all would agree with that?
I agree.
Being married as in have a marriage certificate with your state?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I don't expect the married men to say anything to that question right now.
Okay, the married men can just sit over there and be quiet for a minute.
No, I'm good. I'm grown. I got a mouth.
It's okay. They'll have their moment. Okay, so what's the point of getting married? Let's talk about that. What is the point of getting? If I, as a single woman, are going to live longer? Oh, did I forget financially? Financially, married men do better. Single men don't. Single men just don't do well at all. Like, if you're a single man, the stats for you are terrible. Now, that's who's going to be lonely and sad, Jay, is the single men. The single women are fine. They're not going to be lonely and sad because they going to be doing whatever they want to do. And they can still have a man around if they want one. So why should they get married?
I think I would like to know what men they're asking that's saying that they're unhappy and single. Because every single man that I know, the only thing he might be afraid of and unhappy about is the fact that as he gets older, if he starts having health issues or something, there's nobody there to take care of him. Outside of that, I don't know not one single man living his best life.
Yeah, facts. I believe in that too.
You said
I don't know not one single man not out here living his best life, especially if you live in the DMV. Especially if you live in Atlanta. Any place where there's a plethora of more women than men, I don't know not one man not living his best life that's single. Especially if he got money. If he got a little bit of money, huh?
I said studies are, but again, going back to the statistics, married men do better financially. I don't know if I mentioned that the first time. So you're going to do better financially if you get married as opposed to if you do not.
And I like to know more. And I'm not saying I disagree, but here's my thing, right? I like more context about that. Say like I get married, there's an 80% chance it's going to end up in divorce.
So that alone is like, why are we getting married if that alone is a statistic?
Well,
what's
to
the
my
benefit?
point, to that point, right? If 80% of marriages end in divorce, and what's the percentage of men that end up paying some sort of alimony or child support? I know that's over 50%. is probably at 70%. So there's an 80% chance that I'm going to end up in divorce with another, on top of that, a 70% chance that I'm going to end up paying money out. Where financially does this work for a man?
Facts.
Well, I
don't see.
I mean, everything is contingent upon divorce, as based on what you just said.
Well, because
this is getting married. Married men.
Hold on, fellas. In baseball, if you hit the ball 80% of the time, what will you be considered?
Trash.
Hall of Fame. If you hit the ball 80% of the time, you Hall of Fame.
80% of the time?
I thought you meant other way around.
Yeah, 80% of the time, you be the greatest baseball player of all freaking time. If you hit, in basketball, if you hit 80% of your shots, Carolyn, what would you be considered?
The GOAT.
Stephon Curry, basically. And he don't even shoot 80%. Yeah. If you complete 80% of your passes in football, you are one of the greatest of all time. Tom Brady. My point in 80% is that it's pretty much guaranteed that, almost guaranteed that you're going to end up in divorce. And any man with a half a brain is not going to think that, oh my God, I'm special enough to be the 2 out of 10 that ends up going the distance.
Fact.
And it's not because he doesn't want to. It's just because the fact of the matter is, you don't know what you're getting into with the other person. There's not an attitude of actually, and I know I'm going to be hypocritical when I say this. There's not an attitude of fighting for something that you promised and under God that you would stick by, because we are very selfish about our happiness.
I agree.
You see the hypocrisy there? And I know I'm being hypocritical there because I'm always the first one to say you should be selfish about your happiness. But if you really want to be in a relationship, there's going to be some compromise.
But you don't have to be married to have a committed long-term relationship. The focus of the discussion is marriage outdated, or is it not outdated?
So what's the difference between being married and being in a long-term relationship then?
To me, there's not really a big difference, except if you're getting married under the spiritual realm of why people get married, then it's always going to mean something.
Let's go down to differences, right? The difference between a marriage and a long-term relationship is that you made a commitment, and let's just say we live in a society where we actually live up to our commitments, right? And that commitment under God, you said, and you made that commitment under God to stick with this person through all the things, right? In a committed relationship, that's not the same. And because that's not the same, that commitment's not there, you can leave at any time.
Right. I just said that.
Right. No, I'm just saying, I'm just going through. The next thing would be, from a financial standpoint, there is a huge difference, right? And I don't know if this is possible, but I'm pretty sure. Can I leave my estate? Can it go to my long term if I die and it's not in the will and I don't have a will?
I'm first of all, what estate? Here's my problem with black men talking about somebody going
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I'm serious. Like, that's facts.
No, that's
not
facts.
Facts, though.
Just because every nigga you fuck with is broke, that don't mean we all broke.
No, none of the niggas I fuck with are broke. I stopped fucking with broke niggas 15 years ago.
We can't talk about estates.
Okay, go ahead.
In this country,
go ahead.
In this country, in all demographics, men make more than women. Period. You can Google that anywhere. Now you can whittle it down and get real specific to like black women in this city who are under the age of 35 versus men of the same. Sure, but apples to apples, men make more money than women in this country by age, by race, by job title. It's been like that. It's getting closer. The wage gap is a thing that exists for a reason. That term exists because it's true. There is a gap between men and women in wages. We got to stop throwing it out there.
So
it is what it is.
if I have an estate or whatever little money that I can leave behind, whether or life insurance policy, whatever, if we're not married, does it go to you? Can it? I don't think in a long-term relationship.
Not if you don't set it up to go to that person. No.
So I would have to literally put that in my will to have it go to
you put it
my
in a
long-term
will,
partner.
set up a trust.
Right.
If you got an estate, I'm gonna need you to know how to manage that.
I'll say that again.
If you got an estate, I'm gonna need you to know how to manage that so your long-term partner is not out.
But hold on. But my point is, Felicia, with an estate, if we're married, when I die without the will, everything goes to you automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
See, if we're not married, that's not true.
But
then somebody has to say, we're not married, so let's make concessions. Let's set this up in case something happens. Okay.
Hold on. That's assuming that you know what I got. That's assuming that I'm willing to do that. My point is about that. My point about that part is,
then that's not your person.
I'm not trying to dig into that. Hold on, lady. I'm not trying to dig into that. My point is, I was just calling out differences, right? When it comes to marriage and a long-term relationship, that's all. That's all I was trying to name, right? There's subtle differences in being in a long-term relationship. There are going to be some guarantees that you get being married that are not there in a long-term relationship. I'm not saying either one or either or is better. I'm just laying out the differences and the facts around being somewhere long-term and being married. And a lot of people want that stability when it comes to being married, which is why people choose, hey, listen, I want this stability of being married because I know for fact all the energy that I'm putting in all these years I'm putting into you, low key, if you die, I'm cashing out.
Which is
making sure I'm cashing out.
That doesn't serve men most of the time. That line of that way of thinking doesn't serve.
None of it serves us from the jump, Celine. None of it serves us. But I'm talking about from a woman, from a standpoint of which one the differences in between the two. If you had to choose, knowing that you're gonna be with somebody for a long time, which one are you gonna go for? Because the first thing y'all always want is what? Stability and security.
Absolutely.
Right. So which one provides more stability and security?
I think preparing for the exit provides
Which
security.
one provides more stability and security, a long-term relationship or a marriage?
A responsible partner.
Right. I mean, for the purpose of your question, a marriage.
Thank you. For the purpose of the question.
Don't let him be right just because he don't know how to not
trying to be right. These are facts. I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to show y'all why people are still choosing marriage.
But I'm not trying to be right.
I understand what you're saying and what point you're trying to get at, but we're discussing is marriage outdated or not. I think it's a dangerous narrative to throw out. Well, this is why you do it. I think that's the problem. Like, why is it relevant that this is more...
I can name you 15 things why people get married. That is a terrible reason why they get married, and people still do.
I hear you. I can too. but I'm saying the way you're posing the question lends itself to say that everyone should get married.
No. I'm not saying that. All I'm trying to explain is the difference between the fact that in a long term, like I asked the question earlier, what's the difference between the two? Nobody said anything. So I'm laying out the differences and why is this lane something that people will probably be more in tune with if that is your long-term. Listen, there are women out here, believe it or not, that are like, listen, I know I may not love this man all my life. I know I may not like this man all my life. But I do know I want to be, and I want to have kids, I want to have a family. And what does that look like for me? And because of maybe my religious background, I don't want to have kids outside of marriage. I don't want to be alone. Right. So to my point, it's not like there's a ton of reasons why people get married, but in that the story we're talking about, people are going to choose marriage and they're going to look at the benefits of it rather than, hey, you know what? I could do all those things without being married, but guess what? I have more stability with being married because, especially if I'm bringing in the context of kids.
So is today's marriage as beneficial as marriage has been historically. Because again, we're on the is it outdated? I think that what marriage looks like now, or this ideal of marriage, because there's the idea of marriage and then there's what's really going on in the marriages. And it's a lot of times like two different things. But are people getting married for the same reasons now that they were getting married before? And if not, what's the biggest difference?
Well, we know historically, just through studies, that women generally got married historically to be able to have somebody to provide for them and create a household because they didn't have the means at the time. Right. Men were doing that so they can create children and have their lineage be passed on through generations and generations and continue the lineage that they were in. Nowadays, it's almost completely flipped on its head. Women can completely do for themselves now. They can definitely provide for their own. They can even have their own kids, raise kids, have the ability to raise kids by themselves, create kids without a man in their life. And men, nowadays, there are men that the idea of passing down my legacy isn't as high on the list as it was back in the day. So things are definitely changing. Marriage, if you're going to get married for those old reasons, I don't think people are getting married for those old reasons as much. I think now people are getting married, they're getting married just to make that commitment to somebody and make it as official as possible.
Selena, why are you getting married?
What was that?
Selena's getting married. She's 34. She's part of this new generation. Why are you getting married?
I'm getting married because of the commitment I've made to my partner. I'm getting married to, I guess, kind of secure both of our futures to an extent, right? Like, we're committed to each other, we're building a life together, and that takes time, that takes years, and you gotta facilitate that in a responsible way.
Do you need to be married to do that?
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
I do.
Why?
I just told you.
What? Wait a minute. So you mean people who are single can't be responsible in setting up their legacy?
Absolutely. I believe in marriage. It's how I was raised. It's my commitment. It's our way of bringing God into the union and formally pledging our love to each other and solidifying our commitment.
So you're getting married because of your religious background
and tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And tradition. And this reiterate that tradition again?
And to tie our lives together, for sure.
Tie your lives together. And you think that cannot be done in just a regular committed relationship?
It absolutely can. Absolutely. It 100% can. 1,000%.
Okay.
100%. You can go, you can legally, you can change your name. You can do literally everything anyone else can do. You can, it's a different process. Will the United States of America recognize you as a married person? No, but other than that piece of paper it doesn't negate your relationship. You can still protect your partner in the same ways. You can still take your partner's last name. You can literally I can't think of one thing you can't do by not getting legally married, honestly. But it's a preference. And I think it's something that two people have to be aligned with and about, and how you define your marriage, how you want your marriage to look. That's what's important. I think it gets dangerous when two people come together and one person this is what marriage is, and the other person has a different view or will be open to a different kind of marriage. I think a lot of the times now, men have a different approach to marriage because they've realized, I think men on a much larger scale have realized that it's not a practice that is set up for them. It just isn't. Like, as ugly as that sounds, legal marriage does not protect men. I feel like it was literally created. I mean, I'm not a historian, but I feel like it was literally created as a way to trade and barter women at one point, right? And there's also a point nobody on this call even would have been able to get legally married because we weren't even considered people in this country. So it's just where you're at with it. I think the man and the woman have to agree, and where you get into muddy waters is when there's no agreement and you're defining it differently. I think women get caught up in feeling like, well, if he won't marry me, if he won't go down to the courthouse with me, then he doesn't love me or he's not ready to commit to me. And I think that is the case in some cases, but I don't think it's necessary. And I think if that narrative were more accepted, and I think it is becoming more accepted, then couples would be more open to discussing what marriage looks like to them. But even you, Jay, this entire night, you've been using, are you married? This is what marriage is. You had one definition on it.
No, I was. That's not my belief. I'm throwing out facts and information. I'm just throwing out information. It's not what I believe. This is for the context of the.
But when you use the word married, you were saying, do you have a marriage certificate? Like you're defining it one singular way.
No, I'm not. Not at all.
You are.
No.
You're defining
marriage is having a marriage certificate.
The narrative of the night, whenever you talked about marriage, you've meant one thing. Is there a marriage certificate? When you said, what's the difference between a long-term relationship and getting married? You literally were saying, because getting married means legally, like, do you have a marriage certificate?
I never said that.
I thought that's how you were defining the difference.
No, I was defining the difference
by saying, why can two people who have committed their lives to each other, what makes them not married?
I don't know.
But when you ask the question,
my thing was is when I say you get married, it's the difference between just being in a committed relationship and going to get married. The first reason was you actually made a commitment in front of God to say, hey, I'm going to do all these things. That was my first reason.
Okay.
Right. The second one was from a financial standpoint, there are certain things that happen while you're married that's automatic that don't happen when you're just in a committed long-term relationship.
When you're married by the state. So there's a distinction between being married in front of God and being married by the state. So when you're saying, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's not
Well, there is.
All right, let's put a pin in this.
Yes, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm not even getting into the logistics of marriage. I'm just saying if I have an estate and I'm not married,
by the state.
The estate, my estate, like my holdings, not the state, the estate. Mm-hmm. Where does it go to? Does it automatically go to my wife? Yes. If I'm just in a long-term relationship, it doesn't automatically go to my partner.
If you didn't set it up, but all I'm saying, we're saying the same thing. All I'm saying
right.
Is,
so
when you're talking in terms of if you're married by the state, your wife can be your partner and you set up things to go to her. That's still your wife. Well, does the government call her your wife? No. But if you call her your wife,
well, I'm not defining marriage like that. I'm defining marriage where two people go in front of the pastor or whoever and make a commitment to each other, and da da da. Whether I don't think you need a piece of paper.
Without
right, I don't think you need
I agree.
Just go to the church.
But I think more and more couples are starting to have that conversation and need to have that conversation, because if women are willing to admit it, legal marriage does not always serve and protect men. And so, is marriage outdated? In a lot of ways, to answer the question of the night, is marriage outdated? In a lot of ways, absolutely. It's not.
All right, let's pause right there because I have another guest I want to bring up. And then also, I would like you guys to take a look at the comment that I pinned because I want to hear your thoughts on that as well. Okay, hold on. Hello.
Greetings and salutations, one and all.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How's everyone doing this evening?
We're doing great.
Good.
So
Love
you're
the topic.
face. You're a new face, so you got to introduce yourself, give us some background. So name, how how old you are, what you do, and what city you live in, and what's your marital status.
Absolutely. So first name, Kyle Hart, 48 years of age. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. By day, I am a corporate recruiter for a co-packing company here in Georgia, and I am divorced, single. So listen to and I'm also Hove's, my man Jay's fraternity brother. Shout out to the brothers of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. That's what's up. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the show. So we're obviously talking about, is marriage outdated? Yes or no?
Yeah, I was listening. And in certain aspects, again, we always have to sit up here and take it back a little bit further. Like, you got to think, back in the day, marriage was a way of two individuals showing their loves in front of the community. So you didn't have a wedding gown. You didn't have a ring. You basically got your hands tied. You jumped over a broom, bada bing, bada boom, you were married. Once you start adding the financial aspects to marriage, which is a conversation that a lot of people don't have. So you were talking about, again, assets. If an individual is, whether they're married, then yes, that person gets their Social Security when they pass. If you have insurance policies, they have that. When you have other type of assets, then it can go to this person. But in your will, it then designates to whomever it wants to go to, kids, auntie, whatever have you. Common law, again, same thing. You know, again, if you have a will, you have a trust, then of course you can go ahead and navigate it throughout that point. But as far as everything being outdated, yeah, it is outdated. It's outdated in a sense of, you know, when you talk about splitting up those assets, it's outdated in regards to everything now is all for the perception. You know, is it really for the love? You have a lot of people that females, you know, younger females, you look at your time clock, you know, and want to get married because you see your friends getting married at school. You get your high school classmates getting married. You got all these folks and, oh my God, here I am, 30, 35 plus, wanting to get married because now you're not married. You're seeing all these things. Then you talk about the time clock in regards to kids. Well, again, for the man, yeah, we say I do, but then there's a lot of things that once we say I do, is that really designed for us in this capacity of marriage? You know what I'm saying? You know, if a woman goes out there and cheats, she gets caught cheating or having a child out of wedlock. And then next thing you know, what happens? He gets still taken for half, even though she's the one that committed the adultery or whatever you want to have. You know, so I think everything now has been publicized for the glamour and glitz, but the true covenant of marriage, I think, now has gotten lost over the centuries. So that's kind of my point.
Let's start.
Yeah.
And that's that we got.
Let's switch gears just a little bit.
Carolyn, do we have somebody else over here?
What'd you say?
Is there somebody else? Jerry Ruff?
No, that's a comment that he made.
So he's on the screen, sweets.
Oh, I don't know what happened. No, that's the comment. It's just the comment that he made.
Oh, okay.
It says marriage is something that you have to know.
All right, we good. My bad. Oops.
Hey, scoot back, because your face is. Yeah, stay right there, because we can't see your face.
My bad. Shit.
Anyway, marriage is something that you have to know how to do. So
that is a whole lie. Nobody knows how to do marriage. They don't give you. They don't give you a manuscript. You can say the Bible, but we already know the Bible is also outdated too in our time. So there's certain things that do apply, but they don't give you a manual to say this is how you're supposed to be married. When you say your vows, what do they say? For better or for worse, in sickness and in health, never forsaking any others, till rich or poor.
Rich or poor. Now they don't say under for better for worse. Here's all the things that are listed better, and here's all the worse.
They keep that shit nice and vague for you.
They make it real vague. So I always speak about what I know, and Jay know where I'm about to go with this. My better or worse was I caught my ex cheating. Damn. Visually. Oh, call my ex cheating. Now,
Sorry.
Wow.
No, I thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, Jay, you know me, Jay, dog. I come.
Yeah. You Takaya style, you gonna keep it funky for you. I'm trying to tell you, you brought a real one on today.
I saw this. Now, if I'm supposed to go from the biblical sense, that's worse, right? I'm supposed to stick with that woman through that.
I thought that sexual immorality, you're able to get divorced.
Well, you can, but again, that's the uneven balance when we start talking about the biblical sense. So you say for better or for worse, but then if there's adultery, you can get out of it. So which one is it really?
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't, we can't be contradictory here. We have to sit up here and keep it straight. If you're telling me I made these vows in the eyes of God and all of my family and friends or her family and friends, that for better or worse, I gotta be with this person. But then all of a sudden you say, yeah, but here's the backdoor play. If there's adultery, you can get out.
I'm curious for the other married people here. If you were cheated on, which way you going?
Well, I cheated on my spouse and she bounced, rightfully so.
So she took the backdoor cut.
Yeah.
She took the backdoor.
I can't blame it, but and so here's the thing, right? This is where it gets interesting, and I'm gonna keep it quick because I want my married fellas to jump in this. I cheated, and did I expect her to stay? A little bit. This was the for better or worse part.
Right.
Does she owe it to me to stay? No. But we did make and her thing was I broke our vows, so she could too. So I can't argue that.
Right.
Right. So it's like, well, is it tit for tat for real? Or you know what I mean? Like it's an interesting phenomenon. It's an interesting conundrum because if one person breaks the vow, is it okay for the other person?
That's true.
I mean,
and then there's
it depends on what standard you're using.
Yeah,
again, if you are
what standard? We both went under God.
Standard, but it also, I mean, I just feel like it just seems like, and I've never been married, that marriage is a choice. So if something you go through in your marriage is messed up, no matter who did what, you both have a choice to stay together and work through it and honor that commitment, or you don't, like you can decide not to.
That's a great point. Put a pin in that right quick. Answer the question, Eddie and Jay, but put a point in that because I want to know the difference between choice and commitment. But I want to hear what Jay and Eddie have to say.
Imagine your wife. You come home one day. It's a hot summer day.
Not the background.
Or winter.
The door open and on the couch, on site spread. What you doing?
All right, I'm gonna say something very disrespectful and even insensitive, and I apologize ahead. And I promise you, this is as responsible as I'm gonna talk. In my experience, a person that's dated a lot of different women, I think women cheat differently than men. In my opinion, when I know a woman is cheated on me, it's because I did something to provoke her. I don't believe that women cheat like men, where I can just fuck anybody, even on a good woman, because I'm in New Orleans and she don't know any better and I'm here and this girl just sat on my lap, so I'm a hit. Most men, not all men, most men will just smash a girl because our motivation is ego, even though women have ego too. But if a woman got a real good man, a man that she believes in, loves in, has faith in, she will not cheat. If she even if she meets Idris Elba or somebody that's like her hall pass guy or whatever women want to say. I believe that a lot of times when I hear about a woman cheating on a man, I'm automatically, my default thinking is going to be, oh, he must have did something. Because women
so what you doing, Eddie? God damn it, what you doing?
Exactly.
I'm telling the truth, bro.
No, what are you going to do?
Are you staying or are you going?
So if
this nigga is going to Pound Town. What are you doing?
Everything.
And honestly, and it's not fair. It's not fair for me to say this because I've never been cheated on like the way Brother Man has. My wife has never cheated on me, and I never walked in on anything like that because I can't.
It's a hypothetical.
Hypothetical, which doesn't count for anything because I probably would go crazy.
You dancing, Eddie? You dancing?
Eddie,
you dancing right now?
I'm just saying it's not fair. Whatever I'm going to say is not fair. But what I would like to say, what I would like to say, knowing what I just said, if I walked in on my wife straight smashing old boy, I would like to think that I would try to take responsibility on what I did to make that happen. Why is she doing that? Why did it go that far for her to do that? I would take some responsibility to know that, man, I must have been fucking up. I must have not noticed her. I must have been so focused at my job. I must have not paid attention, and I missed out because women don't cheat like us, bro. Like 100%.
What would you say? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I would like to think I walk out, get in my car, being that we have kids. I'm not trying to get locked up and compromise my freedom for nobody. I would like to think I walk out, go somewhere else, leave, call her, and say, hey, I just saw what happened. We need to talk. And we need to call the pastor.
That's a Nick Bean move. If everybody know that Martin Lawrence movie, that's exactly what Nick Bean did when he thought his wife was getting smashed by his Nothing to Lose. That's what it was.
Eddie, I ain't mad at you, bro. I love the response. Jay, what you doing, bro? And remember, you from Queens.
Really?
I'm gonna say it like this, even though we talking hypothetical. If the woman in my mind is worth reconciling with, I would try to reconcile. But that situation would really force me to come to grips with how much do I really love and want this woman in my life. So, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm not giving a hard answer, but there's women.
But that's real. Because
you
question, do I really love this woman? Because what the fuck I just saw.
Right. There's women that I've had in my life. It would be hard divorce. And there's, you know what I'm saying? And then there's, others where it's like, it's going to be a long road of reconciliation, prayer, devotion, and fasting. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds good. It sounds really, really good, but I just feel like the male ego would take over in that situation.
So to your point of what you're
saying,
is,
y'all acting like y'all gonna be cool, calm, collected, level-headed.
No. See, but there's a difference.
All those good things.
Let me tell you.
Let me get a sandwich real quick. I'll be right back.
Has any type of marbles to him because you got a lot of life to live. I understand what Brother Man's talking about. Removing himself because things could go real south real quick. Now, to what you were saying, brother, you were talking about if this person is the love of your life and you can't see your life without this person, then you would try to work it out. You try to reconcile. All right, let's throw a little curveball in it. It's your man's. It's your ace. It's your boy. It's someone that you've been in your house. You broke bread. You traveled with.
Hey, I'm gonna give y'all a little quick background.
Was that your situation?
This part of the story, Shawty.
Yes.
That's your situation.
Yes. He was the neighbor who was also.
Oh hell no!
Not the neighbor.
Now, to your point, I also, because here in the state of Georgia, we have open carry, and I got a carry concealment license.
I'm in Georgia.
So at the end of the day, as what you guys are talking about, what you said earlier, my man from New Orleans, you would be the Nick Bean. I get you, brother. But if
it was your neighbor, your man's, what's up?
If you don't have this up here, everyone catching it. Everybody,
including the dog.
Wow.
But
that's very interesting because I think
but that's the choice we were talking about. That's the choice that we said we were going to pin. Choices. Marriage is a choice. Every single day, every single second, every single minute, it's a choice from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed consistently.
But
so you make those choices every day.
So back to that commitment and choice, right? doesn't commitment kind of already make up your choice?
It should.
You're saying if you make the commitment, then that's your choice. You're
That's your
deciding.
choice.
So in this last scenario that Felicia put up there, and I think Eddie and Jay gave a pretty good answer, and kind of their commitment dictated the choice that they have to make is to take a look at, hey, I need to stay. I need to figure this out. I need to work through this.
Well, Jay,
you can make
Jay,
that.
Let me say this.
You can make that
real quick. Let me say this real quick. So, and it's not like I've never been through this. So I feel like a kid talking about sex if I never had sex from what you talked about. But my thing is that the reason I would like to think that I would not react the way I naturally would react is because when you have kids with a woman, you have to answer to the kids and why you killed their mother. Facts. And then you have to answer the kids that you killed their neighbor / friend who was Unc. Let's go there then, if we can. So I done killed everybody. Because we know the D'Angelo song, right? Shit damn motherfucker. That's what happened, right?
Damn motherfucker.
Why did I am handcuffed? Well, my point is, I gotta answer the order. I don't want to tell my kids. I'm not OJ, bro. I can't tell my kids like, nah, man. I killed their mother, man. And I would like to think that I would be able to walk off, get a drink, call her, text her, say, we need to talk. I saw you with old boy. And try to reconcile, go to a church, talk to pastor, try to patch it up, see what we can do. But damn, man, there's a part of me that wants.
Well, you didn't have kids.
I'm in Georgia too. I'm locked and loaded, bro.
Right. So Eddie, are you saying if you didn't have kids, you'd kill her?
Probably.
Okay, that's real.
Oops.
Jay.
All seriousness, guys, though, this happens a lot. It happens.
Absolutely.
It happens often, all the time. And that's unfortunate. So I can appreciate that you guys are saying, hey, I would walk away, or I would, think, instead of just going off of impulses. And then, like you said, so many lives are messed up from the actions that you did just reacting and not really thinking about it. And I think that's what happens, because like you said, at the end of the day, there's going to be consequences to your actions, and they could be severe.
Jay Moore, I gotta say one thing. This is kind of related. One of my best friends who's from Alexandria, the same thing happened to him. He walked in on his wife with somebody, and this is a true story, bruh. He killed his wife, killed the dude, killed his son, and killed his dogs because he didn't want, and then he killed himself the next day. But the point is that I think about that story a lot, because to him it was like, I don't even want to leave her with my kids with this dude if I have to go to jail. Because the fact is, we also know friends that have done something on the level of that, and they get locked up, and then old boy neighbor over here comfy at the house with their own kids, and now they calling him daddy because, bro, you got life. You got life. You ain't going nowhere. So now you got to live with that.
Yeah.
So it's a messed up situation for sure.
So that's how dark shit can get, man. So God bless you for choosing the best route. Huh?
I just wanted to know if y'all was gonna say it or not. Y'all done took it all away.
We did kind of take it.
Yo, I know true stories on this story, man.
We did kind of take it a little bit left.
Before you go on, Kaylin, I still want to make sure that, because I think a big part of marriage is commitment, and if we're saying that choice trumps commitment, then marriage is doomed.
And that's why I think
because people will break a marriage.
Like, in my opinion, marriage is doomed. Because
I'm just saying, like, if we're literally saying that right now, because if we're saying that commitment doesn't push choice, but choice pushes commitment, we're in trouble. Like, is that really where we at right now?
I mean, obviously,
is it a bad thing?
Right? Because it's like, I don't have to stay here.
Is it a bad thing?
Somebody else.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but because what we're saying is that there's no reason to. It's not even about marriage being outdated. It should be exiled. Marriage is about being committed to the idea of the institution, and whatever happens, you are committed to working through it for however long it takes. If we're saying that, yo, my choice is not to live up to my commitment, then this shit is not outdated. It's over.
I mean, I think so, but also I think you have to consider what was your thoughts about marriage going into the marriage? Because if you weren't already thinking before you got married that marriage means this lifetime commitment for better or for worse,
no
and
matter
whatever the situation is going to be, we're going to stick through it, and I'm committed to that. Then, yeah, no, you're not going to stay committed to it because you're going to have a choice to get out of the marriage and move on.
So here was my thing. You went in, and this was my mindset, and Jay can support me on this one because we had this conversation. When I went in, starting with my marriage, I flat out said divorce is not an option. Flat out said divorce is not an option. But once again, you're going in there with the hope, the old college try. I'm going to give the old college try. And then that life thing really starts happening. And then when you start to really see whatever those, and we'll use the new social term, those red flags that were hidden before, or you decided to overlook, they start popping up. Then you're still going through life year after year talking about, yo, marriage is not an option. But then all of a sudden, more and more things happen. Then all of a sudden, you start thinking about, yo, divorce could possibly be an option. And then more things start happening. This thing called life starts happening.
How old were you when you got married?
33.
That's young as hell for a man. It's so young.
I mean,
that's middle.
If I was ready.
Because once we hit 40, you got to understand something. We're reaching our peak as far as financial, and most men are not going to fuck that up.
I think men mentally don't even reach their peak till they're like close to 50. But
financial peak?
Mental. Emotional.
Oh, yeah, no, we're stupid. We're literally stupid until we're 30.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah, EQ. Our EQ is below the foundational expectations of a 6-year-old at age 30. Like
right.
it's
so
bad.
Like married around in that.
No,
in
we're
that
bad.
Window,
we're bad, Kyle. EQ is terrible for a man up until he's 30, and it starts to develop after the fact. It's bad. It's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
So getting married in that frame is for a man is very risky because everyone grows and evolves continually. So to your point, I cannot remember your name. Kyle. Yes. Every day is absolutely a choice. I've certainly learned that in my relationship. It is every day. You're one day at a time, one moment at a time, a choice, and you're growing and evolving as individuals. And so it's almost a risk you're taking to try and mathematically figure out, well, if we're getting married in our 20s, the next 60 years, we're going to grow and change and develop in the same way at the same time, at the same pace. It is highly unlikely. And so when those changes, those differences come up, do you work through them? I think it's a little bit easier I think when you're getting married, you should go into it with, along with the commitment is the respect, because listen, we are going to mess up. We're human, but the idea is to marry someone that no matter what the differences are, the respect has to be there. And you got to be emotionally mature enough to be like, no matter what, because I mean, cheating, come on, that is like an egregious, if you're married, you've made that commitment. I just like that's an egregious violation. And it's one that shows absolutely no respect for your partner. And that puts them in a position of it's not that you abated the commitment, you don't even respect me.
That's a good point.
Very good point.
And so why did you why so if we got to step back at that point and look at our marriage, it's like, I mean, yeah, so we went into it young, and I get it, you changed and you're going through some things, but you took it, like, we got to understand not only the commitment, but what is the respect level? What are the goals? How are we going to treat each other for the rest of our lives? Because it's inevitable that we're going to change, and it's not always going to be the same.
Right. But then there's the other flip side of that too, is you'd be surprised how many people have unchecked trauma that once you get married, And then a lot of times once you get married, then those past traumas do come up. You know what I'm saying? And so
for sure.
Marriage brings out who you really fucking are.
It brings it out. So when I say they don't give you a template for marriage, now technically you do have a template for those who have been in, you know, 2-family households. And I'll say loving, caring, respectful. No. I'm not saying, because there's 2-parent households that are some shit.
No, I'm saying when we take a look at our parents, they come from an era where the woman had to stay.
Well, again, I was raised by my grandparents who it was till death do us part. So my vision of that and what I tried to emulate was what I saw from my grandfather and how my grandfather and my grandmother had that type of relationship. But how marriage used to be back then, and which is why we're saying it's outdated, they stayed. Now, you know, Pop may have stepped out. Grandma may have sat up here and messed with, deacon or pastor, whoever.
And you only knew what you knew. Even if you didn't know something, you only knew what you knew. Because
now
nobody keeps it all the way real.
Yeah, no one keeps it all the way real. And now it's like everything is so quick. Like I said, the smallest thing now and I'm saying this, to be humor of, he leaves the toothpaste cap off the toothpaste. You know what I'm saying? She puts the roll the wrong way on the toilet paper. I can't take that. I'm out.
I'm done.
Like Muggs is really, really leaving folks on some real petty, ignorant shit.
It's supposed to be over the top, by the way.
It always looks like
it's over the top.
Now where it always looks like the grass is greener. So I think that has a lot to do with that.
I agree with that also.
Perception is that you can always do better. That's
right.
What is pushed as our societal norm, which is ridiculous, but
absolutely,
that's what it is.
Absolutely. So I think there's some laws that should be looked at again in marriage and updated.
But they won't be, because the government loves to be in our business, and that's why they won't.
Generating business.
It's too profitable.
Yeah, it's too profitable. Divorce is very profitable right now.
If you have three,
they're gonna leave it be.
If you have 3 things you would change about marriage to make it palatable, what would you change?
For me?
Anybody?
I'll give you one.
I know it's hard for the folks who haven't been married.
I'll give you one. No matter who's the breadwinner, all assets are split down the middle 50-50.
And also assets are split in
down the middle 50-50.
In case of divorce?
Yep. 50-50.
No, I like to know that.
Hence why
we not rocking with that one.
You got to. No. Because see, here's one thing, like prime example.
You got to be responsible.
I only speak about what I know. Right? I'm divorced. Because of everything, the way it worked out, half of the proceeds to the seller of the house came to me, half came to her. The car that I caught them in, I bought for her, so she had to pay me back for the entire amount of the car, $46,000. Now, at this particular point, I'm still entitled to half of her 401k. I'm still entitled to half of her pension, but I didn't go after it. You know why? Because if I did, I'd be looked at, oh, he's this, that, and the third. Nah, I just want it out. But still to this day,
ain't a price on happiness, baby.
But I'm entitled to it, right? We worked together. For 14 years, we were together. I'm putting it in my Social Security for our retirement. She's putting in her Social Security for her retirement. All this stuff, 401k, I'm entitled to that. Now, I can still, even though divorced, if I don't get remarried, I still get half of her Social Security, even if she gets remarried.
Yeah, because y'all were married for 10 years. People don't know that shit too. That's another thing that people don't know.
Men don't know.
When you marry, if you married 10 years, you get that money. If y'all were never married, which was my parents, you don't get that dough.
Everything goes down the middle no matter what. everything goes down the middle no matter what. As the in
the
words of Marshawn Lynch, hey man, you gotta get your chickens. Get your chicken.
I think if everything was down the middle, that people would maybe.
Divorce brings out the nasty in everybody. What you may think someone won't do when divorce comes up and money's on the line, they will.
Divorce brings out a whole nother person, Slim.
Here's what you can tell about how people really are. Prison, death, divorce. That's how you can always tell how people really are. Let someone go to jail and see how the finances and money starts working on who's doing what. You'll tell them how a person is in that. Death,
you ain't getting nothing put on your books.
Ain't nothing put on your books. Death, you already hear when someone dies, people fighting over the estate. And you want to talk about divorce? Man, I tell you right now, and I'm not saying anything bad about my ex. I wish her all the best, all the happiness. You were at one point in time, you were the love of my life, but now you for the streets. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is this. When divorce comes up and you have to sit up here and look that other person in the eye, and at the end of the day, they don't care about what you built together. The only thing they care about is I need to start taking care of myself. So my money now is my money, and I don't want this person to have it.
Kyle, I'm curious. As a divorced man, and you've had the experience of being married, and you know the level of commitment at work it takes, would you marry again?
Oh, absolutely. I would marry again.
And why would you marry again?
Because marriage, first off, I now have that knowledge on what marriage truly takes. I've been through the trenches. You know what I'm saying? I'm Andy Dufresne. I done crawled 400 yards to get to a whole bunch of shit to get to the other side of freedom. And I'm taking a shower and all that good stuff. I've done that. So I know what it takes. I know now to have those conversations that we really should have had in the dating phase, in the courting phase, in the fiance phase, to the marriage phase, to the beginning of the marriage. You know, having those check-ins every quarter, every month. I personally say you should always have a check-in at the end of every month. Hey, baby, just want to pick your brain. How am I doing? What's going on? Is there anything that I didn't address that I missed? How are you? All those type of conversations. So now I'm equipped with the knowledge and the know-how. The next woman I find, if we can have those conversations and we're on one accord and we are aligned, because God don't sit up here and bless anything that's in distress. You got to be aligned. So we're aligned. Oh, me and this shorty, we're gonna rock it.
Yes.
You better spit hot fire.
Hey, dog, I'm back on the market, baby. You ain't listen. 070, 9.8. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. That's really good. And I mean, honestly, it is encouraging to hear that you're willing to get back up there and try it again after going through a divorce. And I think it makes sense that you're like better equipped. Because when you talk about the things that you need to know and the conversations you need to have to make a marriage work, there's so many people in marriages not doing that. There are so many people not having those conversations in their serious relationships. Right. And then they're going to end up married and it's not going to work because they're not. So what kind of conversations?
There's so much pressure around it. I get asked every other day, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? When are you getting married? When you are putting a life together with someone, because I'm engaged, I get asked that so much, and I get it, and it's well-intentioned. I love that everyone loves and is rooting for it, and it will get there, but there is so much that goes into combining two adult lives. No, I mean, if you get married and you're 18, I'm assuming it can go a little quicker, but when you're literally merging two lives, the conversations, and Kyle, you said once a month. I feel like once a week. It's like, I mean,
hey, if y'all look
at whatever works,
you know what I mean? However it needs to go, however much needs to be worked out, work it out, take your time. And I just feel like, again, society doesn't really serve patience in this arena. It's, y'all have been dating for 6 years, get married. What are you doing? Why aren't you married yet?
Right.
A man is in his 40s. I had a good friend of mine tell me he's 45 and he's never been married, and he said he gets treated he gets dogged out. Why have you never been married? Like,
absolutely. And look, they probably question his sexuality.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They probably question.
He says, but his thing is, he's learned from experiences. He sees his boys who are his age, who are on their first divorce or headed towards it, or they're like dying to get out. They're so happy to. Like, the example he used was like one of the friends was getting married. They went on a bachelor party, and he could not believe how thrilled the married men were to just get out of their houses. Like, they were just like, thank God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and he's just like, what?
They broke the chains of freedom for the weekend.
So until I meet that woman that makes me excited about being home, about coming home to her every day and being there, you know what I mean? Like, why would I get married? But on the flip side, society as a whole, or when he goes on dates and things, he's being stereotyped and questioned as if he's doing something wrong. So there's such a rush on. I think a lot of people succumb to the pressure of being like, being pushed towards marriage, and then the focus on healthy relationship, it gets pushed to the side.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think one question that you were asking, what's one thing we want to talk about?
Married for the wrong reasons, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We're at time. Time flies when you're having fun. It's 9:30 already, so we gotta start late. I'm definitely going to give the floor to our guests first. So we just usually have any last minute parting words around the topic. So Felicia, you can go first, then Selena, then Kyle, and then we'll all go.
Well, I've never been married, but I think that people should get married for the right reasons. And I think if you haven't seen your partner exhibit every possible emotion that exists in humans, then you're not ready to marry them, because you don't know them until you see every single side, even the ones that make you be like, ugh. I love the one thing in closing. I love the one thing Michelle Obama said when she talked about Barack. She was like, there were many years that I couldn't stand him. And I feel like women needed to hear that, because they just automatically assume that it's going to be like, I feel like people know like it's not always going to be good, but I don't know that people understand how low it can be. So get married for the right reasons if you're going to get married.
Okay. Selena, what you got?
Define what marriage means to you. Be very clear on it. Be very open to what your partner's definition of marriage might be, and be on one accord about it. Because at the end of the day, like, letting the state define your marriage, letting social media define what marriage is, all of that is crazy, and it's not going to work. So just be very clear on what commitment and marriage means to you, and be open to the partner's view, and go from there.
Good one. Do work on yourself first and foremost. Seek therapy first, because a lot of times the reason why marriages go into disarray is because one of the individuals, if not both individuals, have not done work on themselves. So take the time to truly work on yourself. Take care of any issues that you have, because if you don't, then you're going to bring those same issues to the other person, and that's unfair. So again, seek therapy, seek help. And then again, just if you are getting married, want to get married, just remember, it's a choice every second of every day. Make the right choice.
Eddie, and then J. Mitch.
Man, I don't know. Honestly, I just feel like outside of everything that we talked about, marriage is necessary because it's the ultimate building block for the Black community. Unfortunately, the dynamics changed in this modern era, because we used to be a collective success when it came to marriage. Now it's individual happiness. And the community needs to, our kids need to see Black families, man, successful, happy Black families, because we can't model the broken system the way our home is looking. Like, this is some real shit, man. Last week, I don't know if y'all heard about this on the news, but there was another school shooting in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I think it was last Tuesday, matter of fact, or last Wednesday or something. I had my nephews there, man. And it's like, they were texting us, telling us these people were up on campus shooting up stuff, and it just made me. And being that we just started school, my kids, I have an 8-year-old, and even my daycare baby, they have to learn gun drills. Like the way we learn fire drills, they gotta learn gun drills, man. That's the new normal. And I hate to say this the wrong way, but a lot of that is a reflection on why people give up on marriage and give up on love. Because we raising these kids to be citizens that don't give a fuck, because nobody give a fuck about them. And that's why your job is harder than ever, Carolyn. Harder than ever. Probably in the history of education, your job is, because this is the sad thing, you probably care about these kids more than somebody at home does. And that ain't right at all. And my point is, no, we gotta do this right, man, because to think that it's isolated, no, this shit is all relative. And that's why I believe in marriage so tough. And that's why I'm covered with God. Because I think it takes more faith to not believe in God than to believe in God. Because you believe you could do it by yourself, bro? With that chick? With her history? With her trauma? You met her mother? Stop playing. So let's love each other, man. For real. Oops.
Jay Mitch.
I don't know if I can follow up after that, man. You know what I mean? Eddie just dropped some gems right there. Is marriage outdated? I believe marriage is outdated for some nowadays, but not for others. I think it's not outdated for the ones that still hold value in the institution of marriage. By that, I mean the legal aspect of it as well as the spiritual aspect of it, because that's the two pillars that make up marriage in America. And to believe in the spiritual aspect of it means you have to have a certain level of faith to believe in that commitment and what it will mean to you going out through your life and what that commitment will make you do for that other person and vice versa. If you don't have that commitment, if you don't have that faith within that marriage, then basically you are in a long-term relationship, and that's just all it is to it. If you don't have that faith, then you don't have a marriage. That's my 2 cents.
I love that. Well, for me, I would just, first of all, I want to thank all of our guests for joining us tonight. We are so appreciative. We love everyone that's tuned in tonight and tunes in every week. Felicia, thank you. Selena, thank you. Kyle, thank you. Come back anytime. I've never been married, and honestly, the older I get, the more life experience I have. I think my ideas of marriage has changed. I do think marriage is important in the spiritual sense. And I would even get married, but I just feel like it's so important to be aligned in purpose. Like, if we're not aligned, then we cannot get married. I think that people don't think about what they're trying to accomplish in their life, what it is they want to, how they want to live their life. What does the day-to-day look like? Not even to mention, do I have the capability of being able to remain committed to an individual and sacrifice the way you're going to have to sacrifice in a marriage? And that's kind of where I teeter-totter on the line. Like, and I've been saying lately, it would take a hell of a man to get me to settle down and be married, because at the end of the day, I enjoy my freedom as a single woman. And by freedom, I don't just mean, I can date whoever, I can go wherever. There's a freedom that comes with not having to be accountable to someone. And I know that I don't want to be accountable to anyone right now. So therefore, I don't need to be married right now. When I get to a point in my life where I feel like I'm okay with, or I meet someone who I feel like, okay, this person we're in alignment and with purpose, and he's someone that I'm okay with being accountable to, then I would be open to getting married. But whether you get married or not, don't give in to societal pressures. Do what's best for you and your partner. And of course, we're always going to promote love on the show. We need strong marriages, because yes, I am in the school system, and these kids are a hot mess, and they're coming from backgrounds that they're not seeing good examples of strong Black marriages, unfortunately. And so that has an impact. And so we're going to promote Black love here. And I just want to say, like I said, I appreciate everybody. And then I'm going to give it to Jay to close out. Oh, wait. Sorry. Next week's topic, because Jay, I don't think you know. Did you look at this spreadsheet?
No, we hold off on that. Don't talk about it yet. So I'm struggling with commitment and choice. And it's interesting that it's coming down to this because I think that's really what's going to determine whether or not marriage is outdated or not. And I think how we got to this is that for a number of reasons, we've gotten to the point, again, we live in a very selfish society in every way, shape, form, or fashion. If it ain't about ourselves, then we don't want nothing to do with it for the most part. Like we look after ourselves first and then maybe the next person second. And again, even I can be hypocritical in that because I'm the first person to say, be selfish about your happiness. But I also feel like you should, take care of your neighbor. Love not only yourself, but your neighbor. Love the next person. If I feel like if we're gonna, and whether it's a marriage or being just in a committed relationship, the commitment part is what I think we struggle with. And I think that when we get to a point where we really understand the word commitment and we're willing to do it, choices become very, I think, easier to make. We're quitters. This society, we live in a quitter society right now. Little kids, teenagers, adults. There's very little follow through when we hit adversity. There's very little, hey, you know what? I may have lost today, but I'm coming back tomorrow. I'm trying to win. Very little of that. Which is why the divorce rate is so high. Which is why dating is so hard. We're not willing to work through any sort of adversity that hits us. And that's a choice. Which is why it's hard for me to wrangle choice and commitment. So with that said, I really truly believe, again, I'm always saying this, we need each other. We need love. We need each other. And if we're gonna love each other, love is a commitment. And if we're gonna commit to each other, the choice is to work through that adversity. The choice is I'm gonna love you no matter what, and because I love you, I'm gonna stay. And if I decide, and if we're able to stay, we can create these dynamic families that Eddie's talking about. We can have that, we can truly bring back that faith that Jay is talking about. We can support a beautiful lady like Selena in her journey to getting to the altar. We can make sure the Felicias of the world really truly will get to that point where they meet somebody, or no, just okay with dating again. And I've given up on Carolyn because I just love her, and I know I'm just playing. We're gonna get Carolyn out there too. We're gonna get her out there too. But for real, I think there's a lot of everything works and is connected. And I think we have to just try to get back to that. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna make the choice to commit to being with this person no matter what. And with that said, thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Selena. Big ups to my folks, to Kai Stallion, Eddie, Jay. Love y'all for coming on. Appreciate everybody that supports us, Tip and Tat Nation. Love y'all. Please come back next week or whatever week we come back. We may take a quick break. You know what I'm saying?
September. So we'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week?
Can I say next week's topic now?
Yes, you can.
Because you sounded like you was about to end and we didn't discuss that. So next week's topic is the relationship ready audit. We're going to be discussing how you can look into yourself, think about what it means, and decide if you're even actually ready to be in a relationship or not. And I love that we have some married folks on the panel because they know exactly what it takes to be in a committed relationship. And I think it sounds nice and wonderful and butterflies, but we know that it doesn't work that way. So we got to just figure out if we're actually ready to be in a relationship. So come back next Tuesday. Okay, I'm done, Jay.
Thank you, Tiffany Tapper Nation. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Bye.